Hey everyone, thank you for watching my very first video in this series, which I'm calling TFS in under 15 minutes. This video will be a brief introduction about what to expect from this channel. Okay, in this video we will talk about who am I, the bad, ugly, and the good as it relates to Scrum and Waterfall, and we will also talk about what to expect in this video series. So, my name is John William Blair, but most people just call me Bill. I have a Bachelor's of Science and Master's of Science in Computer Science from SMU in Dallas, Texas. I currently work as an Application Development Manager in the corporate office of a quick service restaurant company in San Antonio, Texas. I also have experience in the following areas of telecommunications, military missile defense, human spaceflight, and financial-based systems. So I've also included a picture of me in case you're curious of what I look like. So let's talk about the bad. Waterfall is rigid and unforgiving. Now if you take a look at this diagram, you will see that you have to do everything perfectly. So starting from requirements analysis, to design, to code, to integration, to test, to getting it deployed into production. As long as every single step happens perfectly and there are no mistakes, then this will be perfect in production. But as you know, this is not the case most of the time. So just like this person trying to kayak over the waterfall, I hope he knows what he's doing and I hope he does it correctly the first time, because if he doesn't, he's going to be in trouble. So this is bad and we do not want this. Okay, now let's talk about the ugly. So when you think you are completed with the project, your customer will come back to you and say, hey, this was too expensive and I did not get what I wanted. So you probably have seen this graphic before, but let's just go through it. So at the beginning of the project, the customer will come to you and say, hey, this is what I want. And then the project leader has their interpretation of it. And then the engineer will design it how they think it should be designed. Then the programmer will write it how they think it should be done. Then the sales executive will describe it like it's totally awesome and full of rays of sunshine. But then the project is not documented at all. And when it's installed into production, it's partially installed or not installed correctly. And when the customer gets their bill, it's huge, and they certainly weren't expecting that. And the help desk doesn't really support it very well at all because it's not well documented. But in the end, this is all that the customer really wanted, is something very simple. And what happened with this process is that there's been a lot of miscommunication and their own interpretation of the idea, and it just led to big mess, and this is not what we want. This is bad, and this shall not be accepted. Okay, now for the good. Scrum blends all development activities into each iteration, adapting to discovered realities at fixed intervals. This is a quote from Michael James. He is a very good Scrum teacher. I took one of his courses in the past and I highly recommend it. This is a link to a Scrum reference card that I will be referring to several times in the future. What I want to talk about now is Scrum. Scrum is completely different than Waterfall. Scrum, your work is broken up into several pieces or iterations or sprints. I prefer my iterations to be within 2 weeks. Some may have as little as 7 days, some may have as much as 45 days, but it's up to you. Within each iteration or sprint, you will do detailed requirements, design and analysis, implementation and developer testing, QA and acceptance testing, and evaluation and prioritization. Once this is done, you should take your work and show it to the product owner, and this person will decide if it's good enough to go into production. If not, you'll keep going through this iterative process until you get it right. Once you get it right, then this iteration can be closed and you can deploy into production. Now, before we do our next sprint, I would consider having a couple of meetings. One meeting is to talk about what went right and what went wrong, so that you can work out these issues in your next sprint. This is also a good time to take a look at your current requirements to see if you need to reshuffle any requirements, remove any requirements, or insert any requirements. And as long as we do things like this, then I think everything is going to be great, because this is what we want. Okay, now for the series expectations. I am not the originator of any of this content. I just try to find good content and to package it up nicely. Often you'll see me referring to content from Microsoft, content from various websites, and I'll try to give references to that when I can. I will explain each of the following software development processes in detail. There'll be different videos about each one of these. So I'll be talking about Scrum, Agile, CMMI, how they are different, how they are similar, and when they should be used. We will also use an iterative software development process to create a project from scratch. This project will be written in the Microsoft .NET framework. We will choose one of the iterative software development processes above, Scrum, Agile, or CMMI, and we will implement this in Visual Studio Team Services, and the entire application will be built in the cloud within Microsoft Azure. Finally, every video will be 15 minutes or less. This is important to me so that you as a viewer can choose what videos that you want to watch with the content that you want to watch without this content bleeding into other topics. So each video will have a short topic so you can find the content that you need when you want it. So lastly, my most important goal is that as we are developing this software as a team, that it's fun and that we get a good customer experience. This is very important to me, because building software isn't just what the software developer does. It involves your project manager, your business analyst team. It involves your QA team. It involves your tech leads, your QA leads, your manager, your director, operations, security. So all these people need to be involved, and all of them need to be on the same page, and all of them need to understand what you're doing, so that when this gets installed into production, it's what the customer actually wants. So that's all that I have for now, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.